Today, we're going to do a brief overview of some of its key features aimed at beginners of Google Classroom. So today, welcome. Let's learn some of the basics. So the first thing you're going to do is let's talk about how to get to Google Classroom. So let's say you are at Google.com. So if you're here, you could do one of two ways to get to Google Classroom. You could go classroom.google.com, enter. Voila, you're here. Or if you forget, you could come back over here, right? Back at the Google website and come over here and look for the waffle. The waffle is this 3x3 right here on the right hand side. You're going to click on it and you're going to scroll down until you see the Google Classroom logo. And here it is, Google Classroom icon. So I clicked on it and voila. So those are your two ways to get to Google Classroom. Of course, you could always pin it up here and then you're done, right? Then you just go over there from now on. Okay, so the next step is you're going to sign in to Google, right? Right over here, as you can tell, I signed in. If not, you'd come over here, it'd say sign in, click on it, go through your sign in, and you're in. So next up, we talk about how to get a Google Classroom. Let's talk about how to create a Google Class. So what you can do to create a Google Class is you're going to come over here to this plus sign. You see it says create or join a class. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And let's create a class. Right, so here we go, class name. I'm going to go ahead and put second period. You could always put science, or you don't need to put science. Up to you if you want to put section, subject, room number. For now, I'm just going to put science, keep it simple. Right, I press to create, and I'm just waiting. And there we go. We have a class. So we got into Google, we pressed the plus sign, filled out the name, and a Google class is already created. And look, I love it. I put science and it gave me a science thing right here. If you want to change the picture, don't worry. You can select a theme. You have all sorts to choose from. Right, if you're a teacher, hey, look, they already have some of them available for you, as you saw mine. Another thing you could do is you can upload a picture. So if you already have a picture you want, just drag and drop it, and then right there, it'll be, right, a banner for this right here. So next, what I want to do is I want you to notice right over here. In a bit, we'll talk about how to, let's look at some of the features here. So here, class code. So we'll use this right here to give to our students for them to join the class. That's one of them. But don't worry, we'll get to that. And here's a link, right, for Google Meet. So if you're creating your classes, you have that there as well. So this is, is called our stream. Right over here, we have the tab, right? We have stream, classwork, people, grades. So what we're going to do is why don't we go ahead and talk about the people first? Because obviously we want to be able to invite people into our classroom. So here we go. So let's say you have a co-teacher. So if you have a co-teacher, you can come over here, add them. This is important, right? It could be maybe a team teacher, someone you team teach with. If you teach inclusion and you have a special education teacher who's in there, you can add them to the class to help support. A teacher's aide, your support staff. Right, there you go. You can add them in and they can help you, especially if they're doing modifications. Right, there we go. You can assign some, assign your regular ed student stuff, and your co-teacher can assign, if you have your special education, they can have modified and assign a different assignment at the same time, right, for the other students who need to be modified. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So what you'll do is you just come here, press the plus sign, type in their email address. Now here's one thing to know. They need to be within your domain. So if you teach at, I've taught at Lafayette ISD, so then everyone there has to be at LafayetteISD.org. Right? So it needs to be within the same domain as you. Same thing for the students. There's two ways to invite students. You can do this plus type in their email addresses. Actually, there's three ways. So you can type in every single email address or copy and paste it if you have it in a spreadsheet, and then click the invite, at which point they'll get an email sent to their email, and then they'll click on it and it'll automatically enroll them. So that's way one. Way two, you see right here it says copy. So you could copy this link, email it out to them, or if you're meeting with them virtually, you could put it within your chat box, and then they could click on it and enroll. That's way two. Now there's way three. Let's talk about the third way to enroll your students. So the third way to enroll your students is, remember when we first, let me come back over here. Right over here, we first pressed, when we're at the Google Classroom website, right? Classroom.google.com, or you went to the waffle, found it, and got here. You'd come here to the plus sign, and you put join a class. And when you put join a class, you notice right here it asks for a class code. Let me come over here, and let's go back to our stream. This is a class code that you will be giving your students. Okay, so let's go review this. There are three ways to invite students, right? Have them come to google.com, sorry, classroom.google.com, have them press the plus sign, right? Press join a class. They'll put in this link. That's way one. Way two is to come over here, press the plus sign, give them this link right here, either in the chat box or via email. And then the third way is to either type in or copy and paste from an Excel spreadsheet all their email addresses and press invite, at which time it goes to their email, and then they click on it and they're enrolled. Right? So there are three different ways. Okay, so next up what we're going to do is we're going to come back to the stream page. Okay, so your stream page, your stream tab it's like your home page. So this is where all the updates to the class is going to be, where the most recent information will always be at the top. Think of it like a Twitter feed or a Facebook feed. I think more Twitter because I know Facebook does like the more common ones. But Twitter's always, the most recent is always at the top, right? And everything else gets pushed down. So that's what you're going to see right here. So we could say, welcome to science. Right? Post. Right there. Oh, we made our first post. Welcome to science. Right? So that's easy as can be. We could add another one. Notice. Happy Monday. Post. And here we go. Right? This one's automatically on top of this one. Now, one thing I want you to notice, it says add class comment. The way it is set up right now, anyone can comment. That means your students as well as your co-teachers can comment. Now, this can be good or bad. It depends on you and it depends on the situation. If you do not want your students commenting, then we need to fix that, right? So what you'll do is you'll come over here to the top right. You see this gear here on the top right? Click on it. That is your settings. Okay, so here we have settings. We have our class details. I'm going to scroll down. Right here under general, it talks about how to invite your students, right? Send them a link, send them the class code. And then right here, we are at stream. Students can post and comment. So let's click the little down arrow. And we can say students can comment only, or only teachers can post and comment. So if you wanted to that only you can post and comment, then you're going to click this one here, right? Or you might want to allow them to comment, right? You might not want them to post, but you might want them to comment if, like say you put a series of instructions and they don't understand. You might want to allow them to comment so that way they can ask clarifying questions. Again, this is, it's your call. You know your students. You know what works best for your class. So go ahead and do it and press save. And here we go. Now it still shows up here, but they will not be able to. Oh wait, because I put they could comment and not. That's why it shows up that way. Okay. So next, we are going to go to the Classwork tab. Oh, one thing I want to point out, notice here it says upcoming. We're going to go to the Classwork tab in a bit, and you'll notice that this is going to change. As we put assignments, we'll see the most up-to-date assignment. Okay, so let's come over here to Classwork. So this is where we are going to, where we're going to spend the most time is right here. This is where we're going to spend our time creating assignments, quizzes, and everything. When you are looking at Google Classroom as a student or as a teacher, this is going to look very similar. The only difference we're going to see is when we press create. Let's look at assignment versus material. So the material part, so the only difference is they're not going to have the create. That's the only difference between the student and the teacher view. Okay, so now that we're pressing create, notice we could do assignment, a quiz, a question, material, or reuse a post that we've already done. Right, and we could create topics. So creating topics is great for organization. Definitely want to organize it. You could call it by the name of a unit. And then right underneath, right, we'll put all the materials needed for that unit or that module, right? Or if you're in elementary and you teach multiple subjects, you might have, each topic could be a different subject. One could be ELA, another one could be math, another one could be science, another one could be social studies, right? So it's up to you how you can do it. But let's talk about two. Assignment versus material. So assignment means you're going to grade it, okay? You're going to grade it. So they have to submit something to you or even for review. So even if you don't grade it, you have to review it. The students have to submit. Now materials is, you know what, read this. Next time when we meet, we're going to talk about these two topics and then you'll decide on what to do. So if you're just telling them what to do and giving them materials, resources, that's what this is. So materials means they cannot submit anything. Assignment means they need to submit something. Okay, so simple, easy difference between the two. So let's go ahead and go, right? So I'm on create and let's go ahead and put topic. So science, let's see. How about, let's do something simple. Phases of the moon. Add. Right? It's right there. We created it and it shows up here on the left. Now we can add as many as we want, right? So phases of the moon, I'm trying to think what else is in another topic. Solar system. Right? This one's going to show up on top. But let's say you want to change the order. You're just going to grab it over here and drag it. Okay, so phases of the moon. Let's go ahead and create an assignment. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go create assignment. So let's say phases of the moon video. Actually, this would be material if I did it that way. So let's go ahead and do phases of the moon calendar. Say create a calendar. How about this? 30 days, right? For 30 days, you will go outside at night and draw the phase of the moon. Right? You're gonna draw the phase of the moon, and how about this? And label it. They're gonna have to tell you if it's a waxing gibbous, a waning crescent, and so forth, right? Third quarter, first quarter. So then at this point, we can add, right, from Google Drive. So this is great. So let's say you already created a worksheet, already with the different drawings of the phases of the moon. You can do it right here. Grab it in for Google Drive. Make sure that when you do it, that you have the sharing options open, right? When you're doing it, link, file, YouTube. Or right here, we can create. You can create a document. So you can create a drawing, right? Let's go ahead and create a drawing. We're going to say moon phases. Insert, circle. Black, click to the inside, transparent. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mm. Okay, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that.
Call from Rio Grande Red.
There we go.
Rio Grande Red.
So you can have them draw it and then maybe have them write it.
Call from Rio Grande Red.
Sorry, I don't know how to turn this off. Okay. So like, so you're done. Then they just come in, they draw it in. You can put in the dates, however you want to modify it. Then we're going to come back over here to Google Classroom, right? It already says moon phases, calendar. So I'm going to come over here. It doesn't look like it's done yet, but it is. You'll notice that once we did it. So right now, it says students can view the file. So we don't want them just to look at it. We want them to actually complete it and to submit it. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this little down arrow. And right here, we don't want students to edit this one file, because then if everyone's editing it, well, I guess you could do that and then have one class one. Maybe assign each person a different day to do it. Or better yet, each one makes their own copy. So what's going to happen is by doing it this way, each student is automatically going to get their own copy and they have to draw it on their own. And you'll be able to see every student's individual work, right? Which is great. So you don't have to worry about no pen and paper or anything. It's all virtual. They'll just come in, right? They'll just shade in, draw it, and that's it. So let's take a look. Over here for this is science. But look, notice how there's multiple classes from the ones I've created. So let's say you teach multiple periods, same topic, multiple periods, right? So you can assign them to multiple periods. So like, say that's first period, second period, and you want eighth period to do it. So you just click on the periods that you want to do it. Okay, and then over here, right now it says all students. When you actually have your list of students, you click on it and there's going to be a drop down menu. Perfect. Why? Because sometimes you are going to have to modify their work and you're going to want to, you have the students in the middle and then you have your high and your low, right? You're going to want to be able to differentiate. So what you could do is you can make 3 different versions and just recreate this and put either vary the instructions or the same instructions and vary the attachment. And you could click on the students. So that way these students will have this assignment and they'll get it. They're not going to see the other assignments. They'll only see what was given to them and it'll show up in their stream. The other students, they'll see their assignment. They're not going to see what the other students got and it'll be in their stream. But when you get it, it's all going to be in one. You're not going to get 3 different stacks. It's all in one as you go through them and you'll be able to notice each assignment and what they submitted. The cool thing is you can even watch them as they're working before they officially submit it for grading if you want to grade it. So isn't that nice? So that we could go in and give them feedback, see how are they doing, help them if they're struggling before they ever turn in the grade. Because the last thing we want to do is set them up for failure. We're always helping. When you're in the classroom, you're usually walking around, seeing how they're doing, answering questions, giving them little pointers, and you can do that. So when you're in the grading part, when you're looking at it, you can go and click on a student, see how they're doing, and you can leave a little comment. Hey, you're doing great over here. You might want to work on this a little bit. Awesome feature, right? Help it make it a little more interactive, a little more personable. So then let's go ahead. Oh, topic. So this one is phases of the moon. So I'm going to have over here phases of the moon. This is the topic. Now let's say I forgot to put the topic, right? So I'm going to pretend I forgot to put the topic and I'm just going to go ahead and put assign. Oh, look, we could have done check for plagiarism and a rubric. So right now it's assigning. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . I'm sorry, my internet's a little slow. So there we go. Notice it posted up here because I did not assign it a topic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drag it. And there we go. And like I said, you can even move this up and it'll work with it if you want to introduce solar system before phases of the moon. Okay, so then, as I said, the students, theirs is going to look the same. So they'll be able to see it here. And as I switch the order here, it changed right over here. Now let's look at the stream. When I come over here to stream, look, it showed the posting. And here this label means it's an assignment. So the students can click on it. And right here it is. So this is what you're going to do. When you want to see their work, right, and you want to see how they're doing, you're going to go to the assignment. You could either go this way or you could go into Classwork. Right? Right here it is. 0 students have turned it in. 0 assigned. View assignment. Right? You could go that way or go from the stream, click on it, view assignment. It'll bring you here. So when you actually have students enrolled, all your students are going to be listed here and all their assignments. Because remember, what you did was you put make a copy for each student. So they're automatically going to have their copy and it's automatically going to show up right here. And then there'll be a little, you see right here, it's sort by status. It'll say if they've submitted it or not. So if it's ready for grading. And over here, you can click on it and just start reviewing it and commenting or actually grading it. And so there'll be, once it's open, you have a little box right here for you to actually assign a grade to, if you're going to assign a grade. So let's go back to the stream. So notice over here, hold on. Right there it is. It already changed the title over here. So it's moon phases. So let me go ahead and log out of that. So even though we started with a blank document, we're able to add and change it. So you could do a Google Doc, right? If you wanted, let's go back and let's create another one. Solar system. Why don't we create an assignment? And we can say, planet paper, planet research, right? Choose the planet you choose a planet you would like to visit. How about that? Choose a planet you would like to visit and research what you would need to do to travel and survive there. Right? I could come over here for create. I could do a doc this time. Here it pops up. Right? Planet research. And then you can start, right? Because you might want it all to be uniform. I know I recently had a project and I told the students, but I didn't give them the template, say, okay, this is the format. So they all came differently and I had to look for certain pieces of information that I asked them to provide. Even though I said, provide this information, they all did it differently. So you might want it just a little bit easier, right? Name, date, planet, and then instructions. Because you know they're going to forget to look back. So I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to copy, paste. Ooh, would like to visit. There we go. Don't you love that about Google? It already just corrected my grammar there. You would like. Okay. And then let's say in 500 words or more. And then there we go, right? And then right there it is. Once I save it, it'll show up. So then here we go. I can assign it however many points I want to, right? If I want to assign it 50 points, I can assign it 50 points. Due date. I could come over here, click on the calendar and say, okay, I want to do on the 30th, right? I want it at midnight, right? A minute till midnight. Because if you say 12 o'clock, they're going to be like 12 o'clock noon or 12 o'clock midnight. So make it easy, right? And then I'm going to put assign. Now notice I put a date, right? So since I put a date, Friday, October 30th, guess what's going to happen? It's going to show up on their calendar. So it's going to show up in two places. Because I put a due date, it's going to show up here on the stream. You notice right here, due date, here's the assignment, here's the due date. This one didn't have a due date, therefore it didn't show it, right? So you definitely want to put a due date. And then if I go to my calendar, my calendar.google.com, guess what? It's going to show up. I put it for the 30th. Right here it is. Right, the October 30th, I set at 11:58 p.m. So click on it, and right there it is. So it's going to pop up with a little reminder. Right, here's the assignment. Here's the teacher who created it. Here's what it is. Click on here to see it. So they'll have gotten it here. They would have seen it on the stream, and guess what? They also get an email. So there are three ways students are going to see it. So if they say, "I didn't know I had an assignment," you're going to tell them, "Did he check your email? No. Did he check your calendar to see if anything popped up? No. Did he check the stream?" And right there on the little side where it tells you upcoming. So right there, hey, there's three different ways, to see it. They can also click over here, Classwork, and it's going to show up here as well. So there's multiple ways to see it, and there's no reason why they should say, "Hey, I didn't know we had this assignment." So that is the beauty of that. Okay, and as I said, you can click through and, oh, I forgot to add a topic, so I'm going to drag it over here and put it there under solar system. I can click on it. No, right, it already says planet research. Here's assignment, there's the title. So far, no one's turned it in because I haven't assigned it quite yet. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I need to go in. Instructions. I forgot. Come over here and press edit. I put it that students can only view. I forgot. I need to come over here and okay, well, at this point, it'll only let me change to can edit. So what you're going to want to do is have them make a copy, or real quick, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. How about that? Delete that, then I'm going to add it. Google Drive. Right here's Planet Research. Insert. And change my settings. So here, right, to only my students can view it. So that's something you might want to change here, especially if the parents want to be able to see it. You might want to change it out to your organization, put anyone with a link. Right, done. Okay, and then go ahead and save. Okay, so to recap, let's go ahead and do a recap because we've already done quite a bit. So to get to Google Classroom, you're going to either use the waffle, come to the icon to Google Classroom, or you're going to go classroom.google.com, right? You'll come over here. Let me delete this. And that's how you get to Google Classroom. To create a class, you're going to come here to the plus and create a class. For students, they could get them the plus and they could press join. Right? We've discussed, you could also have them join by giving them the code, or you could come to people and you can come over here and add them, right? Give them the link or add in their email addresses. Okay, we've discussed about how the stream is like a Twitter feed, right? So everything, the most recent thing is going to be up on top. So here we go. Right? You can add a video. Say, hey, you could put in your syllabus here in the stream, right? You could put in videos as well. Give them a short video to watch. And you can make an introduction. Especially because you're virtual and some of them are going to be working at home self-paced. You could make a little video of yourself. Say, hey, welcome to class. We're going to have an exciting week. This is what we're going to cover. And then just insert that video in here, right? Because you could have it short video, put it in Drive, put it in, or put it on YouTube and then insert it that way as well, right? So there's two ways. Notice I'm going to come over here, add, right here, YouTube, or link to the video. You can do it either or. Okay, we've covered the settings tab, remember? The setting tabs is, let me go, cancel. The setting tab is important because we want to look at this part. Who do you want to be able to comment on it, right? And then you can generate a meet link as well. Let's go back. Next step, we're going to come back to Classwork. Let's create a quiz. Okay, so to create a quiz, we've talked about creating an assignment, right? So we talked about creating topics and how the topics are here, and it's an easy way to organize. Okay, so next up, we are going to do a quiz. So let's come over here, create a quiz. Create quiz assignment. And next do phases of the mode. All right. Take a quick quiz over the phases of the mode. Come over here. Click grade importing. Isn't that awesome? So let's go ahead and click on here. And we are going to create it. So let's go ahead and put phases. Click there. Change the title. Moon phases. And then question what? You always want the first question. Oh no, and here you automatically know who it is, right? Because when it shows up, it'll show up with the name in Google Classroom. So how many days will pass between the new moon and the full moon? Now, you can leave it short answer, right? Where here they have to put in the number, or you can make it multiple choice, right? And say, "7 days, 14 days, 21 days, 28 days." Right? However you're going to do it. And then require them, right? You want to make sure that you require them to take it. So when I sign it, right? So I've already created. So here we made the quiz. If you want to require them to say the name, right? Over here, we're going to add a plus. Move it over here. Name. Right, it's already short answer. Require that. Right here, notice how it automatically says short answer. If not, you have all these different options you can play with. Now, when I sign it, I want all students in the row in class to get the email notification. So it'll appear in their stream as well. So when you're ready, so this is important. So here, obviously you want to restrict it to your students, right? So no one outside of your organization. And you probably want to limit them to one response. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is they're going to talk to each other, they'll come back, and they will edit the response. And you only get the latest answer. So you definitely want to say, hey, limit to one response. Do you want them to be able to see the text responses? Well, it depends on what you're doing if you're going to, be collecting that. So then we're going to come over here to quizzes, right? Make a quiz. This is nice. You can either, if it's multiple choice, or even if you put in the answers, right? Here, it'll automatically give them the grade. So let's go ahead and all right, so here, answer key, 14 days, done. I forgot to sign it. One question, so one question is 100 points. Of course, if you're doing a lot of mini ones, right, you can just add them up. Okay. So we know it's done. Come back over here and assign. So again, you can pick the students, put it here, put in due date. So let's do another due date. Here we go. If this one's the 30th, why don't we have them do the quiz the same day as they submit it? Because then they could use that assignment to answer the questions, right? And so if that one's due, we can make this one maybe earlier in the day. Why don't we say by 5 p.m.? Oops. There we go. And assign. Again, I keep on forgetting to put the topic. All right, so I'm putting that there. Let's go to the stream. Here it is. It shows up in the stream. It shows up in the upcoming, and it shows up in the stream. And then your student should have also have received an email. And don't forget, it's also going to show up over here in calendar. So when I come over here to calendar, right here it is. So it's telling me I got a mail letting me know that I did that. Okay, you can always start the quiz and save it as a draft. So instead of assign, save as a draft, and then automatically it will do that. So to review and grade, let's come back over here. You can come over here. You see these 3 lines? That's called the pancake. So click on the pancake, right? To review, here are the classes, to do, and settings. Right, so you click on one of them. Actually, started taking me here. Right, Moon Faces belongs over here. View assignment. And then right here, you'll be looking at them. And look right there, import grades. And all the grades will appear. And remember, you could always, and this one you're not going to want to comment, right? Because it's a quiz. It'll automatically tell them through. But that's pretty much it for the introduction to Google Classroom. Trying to think. Anything else you'd like to know? Let's see if anyone's in here. Okay. We have someone join us. Wait, no, that's me. In presentation mode. Okay, well, that is it. We've covered a lot of things. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us on Twitter. Okay. Thank you and have a great day.